guys, and welcome to today's daily puzzle. Check this out. Let's get right to it. So what do I see? Well, obviously I do notice that we have a battery going on over here with our queen and rook combination, except as usual, one piece is preventing said battery. Now you could say, well, let's simply move over the bishop attacking their queen, allowing our queen in the next turn to simply take the bishop with checkmate under cover of our rook. Sadly though, that's not going to be the case, because even though we can't threaten the queen can simply take back and actually counter-threaten our rook. In a similar idea, they could also simply do something different, like taking our pawn over here and actually have their own checkmate, because that queen is covered by their rook. So we have to look at something different, and luckily something different we have. Something that often appears in these puzzles, which is to sacrifice the queen, because this sacrifice actually can only be countered in one way, which is by their king taking our queen. Now after this, what else do we have? Well, luckily we have a double check, because if we move our bishop over here, that gives a check on the king. It no longer can move in the corner, and in a similar idea, our rook is also giving a check, preventing it from moving back. Now, each of those checks on their own can be countered, because our rook over here, our bishop rather, over here can be countered by their pawn, and just our rook over here can be countered by their queen. Now, luckily for us, it's a double check, and they can't deal with both pieces at the same time, meaning that their king is forced to move instead. Now, however, that king is over here, we can keep it locked over there whilst still maintaining control of the game by moving our bishop under cover of our rook with the check. As such, the king is forced down as its only legal option, after which we have to keep up the tempo and pressure, because otherwise we might lose this rook with a check, which we don't want to have happen to us. How can we do that? Well, we can easily do that by moving our bishop over here with a check again. After which, obviously, the king is forced to move once again. It can't move anywhere else, so as such is forced down. Now, at this point, we do have a ton of pressure going on against their king, but just not enough. And we only have a few pieces that can deliver a check. Now, sure, we could move our bishop over here and give a check, which would push the king back down once more, and eventually we could get him into corner, but that would still be tricky and probably involve a rook sacrifice, if even that, because their queen still is applying a ton of pressure. So instead of messing around with all of that, we are going to involve another one of our pieces, being the knight over here. Now they could move up, but at that point we can simply bring back our knight and even liberate our rook to join the party. Now, however, their king is completely trapped by our rook over here, our knight over here, meaning that just a check will be enough to deliver the checkmate, and luckily we do have that check by moving this bishop down one square. There we go. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.